And if you've been listening the last 2 days, Jonathan and I have definitely been teasing Art for being out this week of all weeks. A relatively slow news week. Not a lot going on, not a lot to discuss. And Art picks this week of all weeks to be on vacation. I guess that's just how it goes. So I'll tell you, folks, normally I am not one that takes calls because that is Art's expertise. But I will tell you here today, day after the election, we're going to open the phone lines. If you would like to call in and give your thoughts and opinions on what transpired last night, those phone lines are open. Jonathan, what is that number that everybody can call?
989-752-6111 to call in.
Yeah, we would love to just kind of hear your thoughts. There's no other way to start today than by talking about the big one. I think everybody that lives in Michigan, if you didn't have at least 1 million texts, emails, mail pieces, commercials, or ads on your computer or cell phone over the course of just the last 48 hours, then you're just simply not alive. Being in a battleground state the way Michigan was, no question that we were inundated with every message and every ad and every piece you can imagine here. And, the country spoke pretty soundly last night. We went into the election last night knowing that at the end of the day, 43 states didn't matter. And that sounds crazy to say, but guess what? California just didn't matter. That was going Democratic. Texas just didn't matter. That was going Republican. Illinois, Democratic. Florida, Republican. New York, Democratic. Much of the Deep South, actually all of the Deep South, as it turned out, ended up going Republican. But at the end of the day, this election was about 7 states on a national level. And for the listeners that are out there, I used to definitely work in this space and know it well. I used to be a professional political campaigner at one time in my life and used to live on these numbers. But at the end of the day, this election came down to 7 states. It was Georgia, North Carolina in the South, what was known as the Blue Wall by Democrats of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin across the Midwest, and then 2 states out into the West, Nevada and Arizona. From what we can tell right now, all but 3 of those states are called. Michigan is still one that has not officially been called, but at least the way I see it, Donald Trump has a 100,000 vote lead as of the start of this broadcast. I think it'd be pretty difficult for Harris to overcome that amount. So I'm expecting him to win Michigan. And at least from where I go to, at least on some of these things, we all have our opinions. But the New York Times Needle and the New York Times does a very good job of when it comes down to looking at the numbers, telling you where things stand. And all last night, very early, they had Donald Trump winning all 7 of these states. And so I believe that is going to be the case. I think when it's done, all 7 swing states are going to go in the president-elect's direction. And it is a very clear mandate that Donald Trump's going to win with a large electoral vote win, a sweep of all 7 of those swing states, and the popular vote. So this is how it works, folks. Many of you out there that are listening are ecstatic this morning. Some of you out there are distraught. This is how it works. There's winners and losers. The country and the system has spoken. So, Jonathan, do we have a call?
Yes, we do have a couple callers on the line. We'll start out with Scott in Milo this morning. Scott, good morning.
Morning. I'd just like to say that last time Donald Trump won, I was getting threats to Donald Trump's life almost immediately. Everybody figured I was a Donald Trump supporter. And I'd just like to say I'd like the law enforcement to really ratchet up their enforcement. And anybody makes a threat, they should go to prison. I just don't think that our political climate today is very good amongst people, and I like people just to calm down and just accept the results.
Well, I know the Secret Service handles a lot of that investigation, and I know that they've been kind of on alert, especially with how things have gone for Donald Trump during the campaign with a couple of attempts on his life there. So I am sure as I can be, that they're on top of things when it comes to investigating any possible threats in that regard.
That's all I have to say.
Yep.
That's all I have to say. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for the call, Scott. And I'm just going to reiterate what Scott said. There's no room for violence in politics, period. violence towards candidates, violence towards elected officials, violence towards fellow voters. This isn't how we do it, folks. We have to be able to have decorum and be able to agree and disagree and have discussion. Threats on the president's life, attempts on his life, were unconscionable. They're completely unacceptable, and anyone who's found guilty of anything does need to end up in prison. There's no question. And unfortunately, we've had too long of a history, whether it's, Gabby Giffords getting shot in the head, Republicans playing softball. There's just been too much senseless violence over political animosity, and we definitely need to tone that down. So, Scott, thanks for the call. Another caller who's with us.
We're going to head over to Mike in Saginaw. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. I was pleasantly surprised to hear of all the turnovers to get former President Trump back in office. But here in the city of Saginaw, I haven't heard much of the local results. I'm sorry if Michael Purchase read it earlier, but I didn't get up in time to listen to those. But I don't see anything else or have heard anything else recently about our local city council or anything like that. And I wonder if there's been a problem with the city of Saginaw coming up with the tallies or anything like that. Have you heard anything?
Yeah, Mike, I was actually here during our election coverage last night, and we went until 1 a.m., and we hadn't gotten a single result from the county of Saginaw. Mike, are you listening right now? Do we have anything? Not you, Mike. Michael Percha in the newsroom. I'm looking through the glass at him.
Yeah, we've Saginaw County did not results from Saginaw County and the city of Saginaw did not come in till later in the morning, but we do have those results. I've read the Saginaw city elections a couple of times.
Will we have those up on the website here?
They will be posted to the website shortly.
So you'll be able to find them on WSGW.com probably within the hour or next couple of hours here.
If you would like, I can give you just a quick rundown of the city council. Monique Lamar Sylvia and Bill Ostash were reelected. And then Eric Braddock Sr., Jacinta Seals, and Heidi Wiggins were also elected. And they will all serve 4-year terms. And Carly Rose Hammond was elected to serve a partial 2-year term.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that information.
Great. Thanks for the call, Mike.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. That's all our callers for right now. I do want to comment on something real quick, Matt. How do you think the coverage of this election was on a national scale? Because I know you were tuned into.
So do you mean last night or leading into it? For the weeks leading into it?
Last night.
Last night I thought it was pretty good. I personally, I flip through the channels when I watch the coverage. I like to hear what different people are saying, kind of where their thoughts are, where they all have different sources and where they get their information and kind of how things are. For me, I have some very good friends nationally who are tied into it. So I was able to make, some of my own calls. And so I was able to get a lot of insight early. But I got to tell you, it wasn't much after 8 p.m. that at least the folks I talked to nationally had seen the writing on the wall. Their hope was for Harris that there would be this blue wall in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and that, they had abandoned hope pretty early on North Carolina and Georgia and thought that was really the only way that they could win. But all in all, I actually thought the coverage was pretty good. I thought the exit polling data was very good, at least from what I saw, because, folks talked about the top issue for a lot in the exit polls was actually not the economy, it was democracy. But it just wasn't democracy. Everyone has their own definition of what they want democracy to be. So it's definitely interesting kind of on how that was done.
Yeah.
But I found their information pretty accurate. And I went to bed at midnight and pretty much knew exactly where things stood. So it wasn't a 4 a.m. We have another caller?
We do. I have a question. We're going to put a pin in this question, but I have a question about that kind of inside information, what it's like from a campaign's perspective.
Sure, absolutely.
But in the meantime, we're going to go over to Al in Bay City. Al, good morning.
Yeah, I think the major question in this whole election and why the people voted for Trump is because of the economy, because that was the overriding issue is people don't have the same kind of incomes, and the people aren't living as well as they did 4 years ago. And I think that's the reason why she lost, is she didn't know how to put over the question of the economy as well as Trump did. And I think he did a real good job in doing that. So I have high hopes for Trump.
You know, Al, as a fellow Bay Cityan, I can tell you, everyone that I talk to for the last, especially, let's say, year, when you went to the store and just bought a package of bacon or bought eggs, you're kind of like, what is going on here? You could definitely feel it impacting our community. I can't speak for the rest of the country because I don't live there, but I can definitely speak for our area. And I agree. I think people definitely have been distraught about just the price of goods. If you don't have a great job, I'm not even talking a good job. If you don't have a great job, buying a new car has almost become an unattainable feat. So I think you're right. Communities like ours were like, hey, trying to survive and live has just gotten too expensive. And that was the issue that they cared about most. And I think, to Jonathan's question to me before, if you look at the polling and the exit polling that came out, voters had more confidence in Donald Trump taking on these economic issues than they did Harris. So, Al, I think, everything you're saying has completely been proven last night and by those exit polls.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Al. Well, hey, folks, we're going to take a break, but we will be back with more calls and discussion about last night's election results.
M&R Garage Door wants to remind you to get those home improvement projects done now before the fall weather hits. Now is the perfect time to replace that old garage door with an M&R door, or finally get a garage door opener. The pros at M&R can install a new garage door that'll work great and look fantastic for years. An insulated door will help you save on your heating bill. M&R can get your existing door ready for winter with new rubber bottom and perimeter seals. The pros at M&R can professionally install or repair any brand residential and industrial door or opener. Remember, at M&R Garage Door, service is their specialty.
It's Tommy James and the Shondells. Saturday night party night, November 30th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Classic 60s hits with Tommy James. Tickets start at $35 and are on sale now at the box office at etix.com.
My baby does the hanky panky.
November 30th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Don't miss Tommy James and the Shondells. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
There's still time to save big money on your roofing project at Menards. We have an unbeatable selection of Atlas architectural shingles. Castlebrook, Briarwood, and Pinnacle all feature a limited lifetime warranty and up to 130 miles per hour wind warranty. Choose from 20 styles in stock, ready to take home today. Stop in to shop our wide selection of roofing products or visit Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are surging with Donald Trump elected as the next president. Investors are anticipating lower taxes for Wall Street and less regulation. Toyota could be one of those benefiting from a Trump administration. The Wall Street Journal says Toyota's hybrid cars have been a successful alternative to electric vehicles, and many are made in the U.S., which would allow them to avoid tariffs. Toyota had a rough summer quarter with its profit down 20%. It's facing higher costs. Toyota's sales in China were down 10%. Tesla shares are up 12%. Not only is CEO Elon Musk a Donald Trump supporter, but Wedbush analyst Dan Ives says the relationship could help Tesla to get its autonomous technology passed by regulators. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Discover the art and style of custom framing at Cooper's Frame and Art, Saginaw's trusted locally owned frame shop for over a century. Whether custom framing your artwork, family photos, sports jerseys, or creating a shadow box of memories, Cooper's can provide the professional design that will make a statement in your home or office. They also have a wide selection of ready-made frames and framed art available. Check them out on Facebook or at coopersframe.com, located at 2905 Court Street in Saginaw.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down. Get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan over at the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, filling in for Art today. Art G, thanks, buddy, for giving me the day after the election. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you back at some point. Folks, we do have our lines open. Definitely, as you know, when I host a show, we talk a lot about the region. But today, we need to talk about election results. And we need your opinion. We'd love to get your thoughts, feedback, questions. You can call 989-752-6111 if you would like to chat about last night's elections. So you told me to stick a pin in it before the break.
Yep.
What's your question?
We were doing Election Central on WSGW late last night, and during some of the breaks, while there was still quite a bit of uncertainty, Charlie and I were talking to each other, and Charlie said something along the lines of, someone's got to know. Someone in each campaign, winning or losing, has to know, and they're just not saying anything. They're not declaring victory. They're not conceding defeat. You worked in that space for years. What does that look like? At what point does someone in the campaign know that they've won or lost, but they're not going to say anything?
They knew weeks ago.
Really?
Or a week ago, they've known. So
that's not at all what I would have expected.
No. So I will tell you, for our listeners who don't know, one of my previous jobs, I worked for Tim Kaine when he was governor of Virginia. And I was his chief fundraiser and was part of that campaign every step of the way. One of the first hires you make when you're going to run a race of that magnitude is your pollster, your own campaign pollster. Your own pollster, you pay massive sums of money to. Just massive, because you want to have the absolute best numbers humanly possible. When you hire your own pollster, you do a ton of research, but you want someone who understands, you know, in that case, the Commonwealth of Virginia, that they understood that they had done races there. They have been active in continuing races every cycle. They have a great scientific method to what they do, that you spend a lot of money on your polling. So we just didn't spend money on polling to figure out where things were at. We would also take focus groups and run different messages by them. So we could take, let's say we'd shoot 5 campaign commercials. We would run them by the different polling groups. And when it was done, we would know which campaign message had resonated most with voters and which had not. And at the end of the day, your internal polling, it's almost like flying a plane with a pilot. Your internal pollster's your pilot.
Really?
The plane does not fly because you don't know what to do, what to message, how to handle things. There's nothing you know to do without that polling. So I can tell you, at least in that case, the Kaine race, we always had exact numbers and knew where everything was. We knew going into an election what precincts to look at exactly. We knew what levels we needed to be at. It is scientific as can be in terms of knowing where your numbers are. So it was funny last night. That was one of the discussions I had with one of my former colleagues, because I'm not in the world anymore, right? That's not what I do anymore.
But you still got connections.
But I still have connections. So I said to one of them, I said, you know who to call to get the real numbers. Why don't you get a call and kind of tell us where it is? And this was at 9:00 last night. And I'll leave the gentleman's name alone, but he was a giant national player. And he said to me, he goes, Matt, it's gotten dead silent from those folks.
Mm.
And so at 9:00, when you know the people that have access to the people and they're telling you that they're not contacting you, there's a massive problem. But for those sophisticated campaigns, Trump knew. Their folks knew. The Harris folks, they knew. They all knew. Now, what's a little bit different in there is a margin of error still. And the margin of error on your best polling, Jonathan, your internal polling, which is great, it's not these giant, 4 to 8, it's a 2 to 4 number. So yeah, when someone wins a state by 1.5 points or by a point, actually Trump ended up winning by much larger margins than Biden won 4 years ago. Biden was winning Wisconsin by 20,000 votes. I mean, they were razor thin last time. So last time, I think it was really hard for everyone. But last night, when you looked, and like I said, I go to the New York Times Needle because they're really good at knowing their numbers too. And by 9:30, 10 o'clock, their needles had it at about 66% Trump, and it went all the way up to 95% by 1 a.m. People that know the numbers, that know, they know. And I will just tell you, for any listeners that are out there, you're going to have your opinions in the New York Times one way or the other, but they do something called the needle on these big races. And that needle has historically been very, very accurate, except for when it's so thin you can't tell. But to answer your question, internal polling on these campaigns, these are billion-dollar operations. They spend tens of millions of dollars on polling. They know. Now, the other polls, the public polls, we can talk about that separately. That's a whole other thing. Absolutely. Do we have a caller, though?
We do have a caller. We're going to head over to Art in Chesaning. Art, good morning.
Good morning, Art. And this better not be Art Lewis just ducking and Chesaning, missing work this week during election week. I hope this is a different Art.
Yeah, it's different.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning. Couple things. I'm sure thankful the way the results turned out, but why does it take Michigan so long to get the results done? I thought Pennsylvania was slow, but it seems like Michigan is even worse than that now. But
something I heard, Art, last night that caught my attention, because I agree. I can't believe that it takes these counties that long. I can get some of the huge counties sometimes. That's a lot of people and a lot of votes and a lot of precincts, and you have to organize it all. I get it. But even some of the smaller counties in Michigan, one of our previous callers was talking about one of our localities that didn't come into the middle of the night. We had other localities that weren't coming in until 1, 2 a.m. I'm like, wait a minute. These counties aren't that big. And the reason I bring this up, Art, last night when I was watching coverage, they talked about the chaos of Florida in 2000. Remember the recount and the hanging chads and everything that happened, and why was the butterfly ballot. In Florida, they actually have spent a ton of money and resources to get election results in much more efficiently. So Florida's in by like 10, 11 o'clock now because they've really worked hard to streamline their process. Your point's valid. Every single state, county, precinct, etc., we need to do better. It shouldn't take this long to get these election results.
Yes. Another point I just kind of was thinking about, I mean, the economy, I think, is a big issue with higher prices and that. And you go to the grocery store, you see it. You go to a restaurant, everybody's changing their menus because they're jacking the prices up. But they have to pay their wages higher, and that in the end has to give the customer, going to cost the customer more too. Where does that end? I don't foresee prices going back down now that everything is up already. Who wants to lower prices once they're getting something? You don't want to give it up. And another point is, it doesn't seem like people are hurting too bad when you go to a restaurant, and there's a lot of restaurants, and they're packed with people. And on the weekends or even during the week sometimes, especially you go to Frankenmuth. And don't get me wrong, they can probably charge the prices they charge, but you go in there and you can't believe the people in there and the families in there with 4 or 5 kids, paying $35 a crack for a meal. It's like, it don't seem like they're hurting them too much.
Yeah, Art, that was an interesting trend that I noticed last year, a couple years ago, as interest rates were continuing to go up. We were still getting reports that the jobs market was doing better. Car sales, the automotive sales, for a while were doing really well in there as well. It's some conflicting information when it comes to how we gauge the economy, and obviously what you see when you walk down the street is completely different from what you're hearing in the national news.
Art, I love that you said that. I do hope that some of the prices come down. I am seeing it at the grocery store a little bit. My wife was talking about it last week that she was there, and it had gotten better. She said some of the things had come down a bit, which was great. You see some of the car prices coming down. But to your point, people are definitely still filling up restaurants and concerts and venues all over. Art, thanks for the call. We have to take a break. We'll be back.
When's the last time you had your air ducts cleaned? When it comes to your home cleaning checklist, air ducts are easy to miss. Out of sight, out of mind. But if you find yourself dusting a lot or want to reduce allergies in your home, it's time for a cleaning from the Mod team. Protecting your indoor air quality is simple and quick.
Modernistic, simple and quick. We're the first with experience and quality.
Schedule at modernistic.com and get $75 off air duct cleaning with offer code FRESH75.
This is Sonia with Feges Interiors, and I'm here to invite you to check out our recently renovated window treatment gallery. Along with custom draperies and top treatments, we now offer a range of America's most popular brands of blinds and shades like Hunter Douglas. We have an array of smart home compatible, energy efficient designs that are available at everyday low pricing. We can even cover those odd shaped windows with style. For over 24 years, I've helped my clients create custom one-of-a-kind window treatments, and now I'm able to offer complete room design with Feges Interiors. Through December 1st, save an additional $75 per shade on select styles with motorization. Visit our website to schedule your complimentary consultation and enjoy 50% off professional installation. Or visit our ever-changing showroom at Feges Interiors, 4946 Burl Drive in Saginaw.
I have with me Jeff Carrick from M-Care Choices, formerly Medicare Choices. Jeff, I'm understanding that there's big Medicare plan changes we need to look forward to?
Yes, all Medicare beneficiaries will receive a letter in the mail from their current carrier called the ANOC letter, and that's the Annual Notice of Change.
Jeff, what is the benefit to coming to Medicare Choices to get your Medicare review?
First of all, Jim, we're a no-fee service. It doesn't cost you one penny. We have all the major carriers here in the state of Michigan. We analyze your plan. We find out, who are your current doctors, your current prescriptions, and any kind of benefit preferences that are very important to you, and put that into a software system that it will help guide us to the best plan for you.
Jeff, if somebody has questions and wants to set up an appointment, what should they do?
They should give us a call at area code 989-899-7820. And remember, we cover not just Saginaw, but all the surrounding areas. And you can come to our office here in Saginaw, or we can schedule an appointment to come right to your home, or meet at the local coffee shop.
Can they find you online?
Yes, at mcarechoices.com.
Art Lewis here at Quick Lane Freeland, next to my car dealer, McDonald Ford. Quick Lane Freeland is a one-stop shop for all your oil changes, brakes, tires, batteries, and they work on Chevys, Fords, Toyotas, Hondas, Jeep, Dodges, all makes and models to keep your car or truck in good shape. And by the way, speaking of tires, they are selling new tires for just $5 over cost. You can't do any better than that. Brand names like Michelin, Goodyear, and BF Goodrich, plus an additional $60 to $100 in rebates. Extra for installation includes balancing and lifetime tire repairs. Enjoy our customer lounge with internet and free ice cream bars at Quick Lane Freeland next to McDonald Ford, where again they work on all makes and models of cars and trucks. They want to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape at Quick Lane Freeland next to McDonald Ford.
Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort proudly presents Mr. Las Vegas, Wayne Newton live. Friday, December 27th, it's an evening of storytelling and video and song from the ultimate Vegas insider. Tickets for Wayne Newton start at $30 and are on sale now at Soaring Eagle box office or etix.com. 65 years of Las Vegas memories from the Midnight Idol. December 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Don't miss Wayne Newton live. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Broadcasting online courtesy Stormmaster Exteriors. And from the Stormmaster Exteriors studios, this is WSGW.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center. Visit them at 5789 State Street in Saginaw or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com. So, folks, it's Matt Felan over at the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance joining you here on a slow news day. Not a lot to talk about, not a lot of discussion items. Wait, no, Jonathan tells me we do have calls. Apparently, folks are interested in what's going on. I guess I'm wrong. I think we're going to start with Mike in Thomas Township. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. And I have a question. I don't know if you guys covered it or not, but did Saginaw County go for Trump? Does anybody know that?
I do believe Saginaw County did go for Donald Trump. It went narrowly. I know that Bay County went significantly for Donald Trump. I haven't looked at all of the updated numbers, but, you know, Jonathan's a whiz kid. I'm an old man over here. He's pulling up that fancy computer and getting us some numbers.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm 84.
I've got the AP results right here. Looks like 99. I'm getting old. I have to lean in to see the numbers here. 99% reporting in Saginaw County, 51% for Donald Trump, 47.7% for Kamala Harris.
Well, I'm proud of Saginaw County for a change. And then Michigan, I guess they're still trying to tally up everything. We're one of the slow states.
Yeah, it looks a little bit close, and I'll tell you, I think, you know, Donald Trump looked to be up about 100,000 votes at the start of our broadcast here this morning. And I think that margin's going to be pretty much impossible for Harris to overcome. The real race that is up for grabs still seems to be that U.S. Senate race between Alyssa Slotkin and Mike Rogers. The last I checked, Slotkin had just narrowly crept into the lead, and I want to say it was by about 20,000 votes. Jonathan, what do you see over there?
Right now, we're looking at a margin of about 10,000 votes. 48.6% for Slotkin, 48.4% for Rogers.
And that may end up being one of the closest races in the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I guess they did get the Senate anyway, so that's. I'm almost sad that they have. If they get the House also, that's still undecided. But the House and the Senate. The House is nice to have because then you don't have to worry about all these stupid impeachments and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, one party having the presidency and the House and the Senate, you know, that they can almost do whatever they want within reason. And that I'm not so crazy about. But it's better this way than the alternative.
Reason's got nothing to do with it, Mike. Thank you for your call.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mike from Thomas Township. I think we've got another one here. We'll just go straight over to Doug in Richville. Doug, good morning.
Good morning. So I wanted to give you some personal experience with the timeliness that you were just talking about as far as getting results. So I'm an election official, worked the election yesterday. We wrapped up in our little township about 11 o'clock. And then our clerk then has to drive those results via a flash drive all the way to our county seat in Carroll, where then they compile them and they have to present all the paperwork that we've put together and all the poll book and all that results. And so they're not getting results till well after midnight for a lot of those townships. And every township in the county has to do that. So it just gives you a little idea of why it takes so long to get the actual numbers for the results.
Hey, I love this call because it's great to talk to someone who works in this space. Here's my question, and I totally respect that. And one, I want to thank all the people that do this work because there are a lot of voters that come out and saw some videos of some folks who were agitated yesterday. It's got to be a thankless job. My question for you, though, is how is Florida doing it? how are other states able to get their election results so quickly versus us? What's the difference that's allowing one state to have everything in by 11 p.m. and the other to take, into the next day?
We're talking as our county or our township clerk said, in our little neck of the woods, we do everything right. We don't know what's going on in those other states. That's way above me what my experience is.
Totally fair. Well, hey, thanks for your efforts and thanks for the call today.
No problem. Have a good day.
If you're close to 65, you probably hear about Medicare all the time. When to sign up, how to sign up, what your options are. But did you know you might be able to lower your future Medicare premiums with proper planning before you retire? It's true. The team at McIntosh and Associates can show you how. It's not for everyone, but depending on how you structure your income in the years leading up to your retirement, you could potentially save some serious money on your Medicare premiums. See if this strategy could work for you. Call McIntosh and Associates now to set up your visit to start working on your plan. 989-283-7995. That's 989-283-7995. If you want to pay the lowest price for your future Medicare premium, start planning today. Set up your visit now with the McIntosh and Associates team. Call 989-283-7995. Firm offers insurance services and is not affiliated with the U.S. government.
Hi, I'm Ray from Big X Christmas Village in Bay City, inviting you to our Christmas open house this Thursday through Sunday. Be the first to experience the magic and thrill of the holidays, featuring Bay County's biggest and best Christmas display. Big X Christmas Village is a must-see for the whole family. Enjoy themed decorated Christmas trees, from traditional, country to contemporary. See exclusive ornaments, holiday decorations, nativity scenes, Santa's fairies, and snowmen. Shop our new selection of lifelike artificial trees, featuring the LED starry lights with 18 color-changing functions. Make shopping a joy to match the season. Enjoy samplings of our delicious gourmet food selections and refreshments this Thursday through Sunday. Visit at BigXNursery.com or our Facebook page. The magic of the holidays begin this weekend at Big X Christmas Village on M84, 1 mile east of I-75, west side Saginaw Road, Bay City.
Your day starts before the sun rises. Once your boots hit the ground, you head out to a field, a barn, or a tractor. As stewards of the land, you know anything worth doing is worth doing right. At Farm Bureau Insurance, we've always believed in and practiced this same philosophy. From heaving bales and weaning calves to spring seeding and fall harvests, it's all about an honest day's work. Knowing your insurance provider is rooted in Michigan offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Find your coverage in Vassar, Millington, and Mayville. Call Denny Miller at 989-823-8493.
Concerned about age-related macular degeneration, or AMD? If you're over 50, then you should be. AMD impacts as many as 1 in 10 Americans over 50, severely impacting your vision and robbing you of your ability to drive, read, and enjoy the vibrant beauty of life. Now, protecting your eyes is easier thanks to New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. Specifically formulated to improve eye health, New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements not only protect your eyes, but help improve night vision, as well as helping to relieve eye fatigue caused by digital devices. Only New Nordic uses wild Swedish blueberries because of their superior concentration of color pigments, which are vital to eye function and health. New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements are Scandinavia's #1 selling natural eye formula, but now you can find them at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com. Enjoy healthy vision with New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. Available now at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan of the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance filling in, and we are taking your calls here today. And we're going to continue on with Wayne from Saginaw. Good morning, Wayne.
Good morning.
Good morning. I worked the polls yesterday at our local township, and I think what's taken so long is absentee ballots. We had a crew at our township, 5-10 people in a separate room, all day counting the ballots of the absentee. So if you'd start after the polls shut down, it's going to take you a long time to get done. We were done at least the main floor around 9 o'clock last night. I got to go home. I don't know if the absentees were all done.
That was actually a question Charlie and I were talking about off the air during election coverage last night. Was do absentee like when can they open them? Does it need to be after the polls close, or can it be on election day? So you're saying they were tallying those all day?
Yeah, I believe they could start first thing in the morning. They can't do it until the day of the election.
So, Wayne, I'm glad you brought this up because I believe it's actually one of the reasons Donald Trump won this go around. I don't know if you remember, but in 2020, he was urging people not to vote early. He was telling people, go to the polls. We don't want any shenanigans. So make sure that you go on election day. And he had kind of convinced his voters that any kind of early voting was bad. And so a lot of Trump voters, if you remember that last go around, were not voting absentee. They were not voting to the same level. Of course, some were, but not to the level that we saw yesterday. Whether it was early voting or absentee voting, it just wasn't happening. This go around, and I give his advisors a lot of credit, they convinced him to stop that rhetoric. And they convinced him that it was just important to vote. And so he was pushing his voters to vote absentee, to vote early, to whatever you do, just make sure you vote. And I think that makes a huge difference because you can sometimes get to day of, and if something's going on in your personal life, your work, your car's broke, you just forget. I don't care what it is. If you lose 1% of your voters, it makes a massive impact. So I think that the Trump campaign and the president-elect himself did a very good service to him by understanding that, hey, we're going to make Wayne's life miserable by getting all those absentees in. That's a big deal. So I'm really glad that you brought that up because I definitely think that changed it. So thanks for your call today, Wayne.
And this was my first time to work at the polls, and the people there said it was the busiest they've ever been since Obama on the floor too all day yesterday. But surprisingly, most of them went party rather than individual that I seen after the thing was out, the tape was done. Almost over 3/4 of them was Democrat in our township, straight party.
Fascinating. I think what we care about most, Wayne, is that it was busy and that people voted. So I think that's great. Appreciate the call. We're going to move on to our next caller.
We've got Jim in Saginaw. Jim is going to be our last caller for this hour. We may have a couple other opportunities later on this morning, but Jim, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I just have a question. I'll ask the question, and then because I'm busy, I'll hang up and let you guys discuss it. I believe something needs to be done at the border 100%. But my question is, for the ones that are already here that are picking peppers for 5-10 cents a bucket, the ones who are working on the cattle farms for $7 an hour, if Trump does his deportation thing the way he makes it sound he's going to do, how many people are going to fill those jobs and work for the kind of money they work?
So you're raising a very, very good question, and it goes beyond that. If you're in major cities or major metropolitan areas, that community is doing a lot of construction work. They're doing a lot of housekeeping work in hotels. They're doing a lot of maintenance work. They're washing a lot of dishes. They're doing a lot of cooking. There's actually a lot of work that community does across the country.
The fruits and vegetables, if they complain about a $2 head of lettuce now, what's going to happen when Junior goes out there and ain't going to work for less than $10 an hour?
So I've been out in California and have gone kind of through wine country. And early in the morning, get up to take a walk. You'll see a giant school bus just full of workers.
Oh, yeah.
And on the back of the school bus are like 4 porta potties. And I turned to my wife and said, I don't know what American, I don't care what color of persuasion, is getting up to do this work anymore. And so you raise a good point. I think the answer has to be that we have to find a legal way for people to come here and work, and for us to be able to claim taxes and track and verify that they're here legally and under the right reasons. I think what needs to happen is both parties, in my opinion, have to quit using immigration as a political football and fix the doggone problem so that we can have a productive country. We can continue to be a country of immigrants that's welcoming, but we do it in a legal manner that everyone is safe and secure.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Yep. Thank you. We will be back after these messages.
Attention seniors, it's that time again. Time to put your Medicare plan in place for 2025. Secure Assets Insurance Agency in downtown Bay City on Washington Street can help ease the pain. Independent owner Tim Zackley's mission is to end Medicare confusion so you will feel confident in your healthcare coverage. He specializes in Medicare supplements, Medigap, Medicare Advantage, prescription drug plans, hospital indemnity policies, and even life insurance. Insurance exactly how it should be. Schedule a face-to-face free consultation today at senior-protector.com.
Save up to 50% on a hot tub cold therapy tub or swim spa at the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Browse the largest display of hot tubs, cold therapy tubs, and swim spas in the region. See swim spas in action offering exercise, therapy, and fun all year long. Over 40 spas will be on display from 5 major brands at huge discounts. Financing is available and show admission and parking are free. That's the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Visit hottubBlowout.com. That's hottubBlowout.com.
Retirement is more than a newly discovered free time. It's a time to reflect on how you will be remembered and your legacy. It's important to make proper arrangements now. Tune in to WSGW every Sunday at 8 a.m. to your Financial Empower Hour with Jason Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors in Midland. Learn how to structure your retirement savings to increase the value of your estate and help leave the legacy you want. Plus, call Great Lakes Investment Advisors today, and they will include a complimentary Legacy Maximizer. 989-835-7203. That's 989-835-7203. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
This week on Generating Gratitude, 2 amazing stories. First, a guy that beat meth, and then a woman who beat prison and was in a coma for a year. All on Generating Gratitude.
Generating Gratitude with Joe Volk. Sunday afternoons at 5 on WSGW, 100.5 FM and 790 AM. And online, WSGW.com.
That wraps up this hour of the Art Lewis Show. Want to thank our callers for calling in and talking about yesterday's election results. Next hour, we're going to be joined by a CMU political science professor, and then we're going to continue taking calls later in the hour and into focus. But first, the news.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Donald Trump is making plans after becoming the first president in over a century to reclaim the White House after losing it.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness.
He delivered his victory speech in West Palm Beach before a sweeping victory that included the battleground states of Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, and CBS News projects Wisconsin. A senior advisor is promising unity Jason Miller tells CBS Mornings.
There's a renewed sense of optimism. There's a sense that we can come together and do this. And we heard from the president last night. He is very focused on making sure that he brings everyone together. We put aside these partisan differences.
The GOP will retake control of the Senate. CBS's Scott McFarland.
The more Republicans can get in that majority, the more it bolsters Donald Trump when it comes time to confirm a cabinet, when it comes time for a possible Supreme Court nomination.
Control of the House still unclear. We expect Vice President Harris to address her loss sometime today. Voters are reacting in her hometown of Oakland, California.
Here in the city where Kamala Harris was born, Santiago was distraught following the re-election of Donald Trump.
I'm kind of devastated. I was really hoping that Kamala would win and take us in a different direction in this country.
Cynthia Yarber, who is African American, also voted for Harris, but says she's not surprised that the vice president will not be the first woman president.
Nobody's ready for a woman president. White or black, doesn't matter. Nobody's ready for that. At least in the U.S. of A.
Matt Bigler for CBS News, Oakland, California.
I'm Vicky Barker in London.
Mr. Speaker, can I begin by congratulating President-elect Trump?
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer among the first of many foreign leaders to offer congratulations. But France and Germany have already begun consultations on the security and economic implications of a second Trump presidency. Global markets and the dollar rose sharply on the Trump win.
On Wall Street, the Trump trade has gone into overdrive. The Dow is up 1,272 points in early trading. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger expects volatility.
We don't know which policies will be enacted. We don't know how they'll be enacted. And we have to be patient and long-term and try to stick to our game plans.
Tesla and Bitcoin are both soaring. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Speed wins. That's why Stein Seed Company has consistently released more new Enlist E3 lines than any other seed company for years. And the reason why we can offer higher yielding genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control to help you get the most out of your seed. Plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans because Stein has yield. Live your life your way with Stein. Learn more at steinseed.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Hey, Michigan, let's think beyond the sink and learn where the water your family drinks every day comes from. Private wells and public water supplies allow homes across Michigan to draw water from different sources, like lakes, rivers, and groundwater. Tap into the facts about your home's water source and learn about your home's water quality to protect your family's health. Visit michigan.gov/care for MI drinking water. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 57 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Pershaw. Voters in Bay County decided on a number of countywide races yesterday. Incumbent Bay County Executive Jim Barsha narrowly defeated Republican challenger Kevin Shark. The road commissioner seat was decided in favor of Republican Bill Schumacher over Democrat Michael Millett, and the drain commissioner will now be Republican Michael Rivard over Democrat Bill Jordan. In races for county commissioner, Tim Benesack defeated Democrat Kathy Marleski for the 2nd District seat, while Republican Larry Beeson beat Democrat Colleen Maylett for the 4th District. Republican challenger Christopher Rupp defeated Democrat Thomas Herrick in the 5th District seat, and Republican Jerome Crete defeated Marnie Westfall for the 7th District. In the race for the Bay County prosecuting attorney, Nancy Barushko lost to Republican Mike Kanazuski. Police in Saginaw County are investigating a crash in Maple Grove Township that occurred around 8 a.m. yesterday, according to police, who say a 60-year-old woman was driving a Chrysler Town and Chevy Country minivan west on Pete Road and crashed into the driver's side of a Chevy Impala driven by a 45-year-old man heading south. Police say the driver of the Impala failed to stop at the intersection. He suffered a broken leg. The woman was not hurt, though police say she went to a local hospital for evaluation. 2 young children in the minivan were also uninjured. Authorities in Saginaw Township are asking for the public's help identifying a suspect involved in a recent gas station robbery. A Speedway gas station on Bay Road was robbed November 2nd, just before 4 a.m., with surveillance video showing the suspect taking cash and cigarettes. Police believe the same individual may have attempted to rob the same Speedway store a month earlier, October 3rd. You can call the Saginaw Township Police Department or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-422-JAIL if you have any information. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
For over 25 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner.
But did you know Tri-City Line-X is now Pro-Line Coatings? They offer rust-proofing and undercoating too. Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
That's great news. Now, the guys at Pro-Line Coatings have the only wax-based, rust-proofing, and military spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
And right now, get $100 off on a rust-proof and undercoat package.
Pro-Line's rust-proofing process is wax-based. No long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Get $100 off on a rust-proof and undercoat package today. Tri-City Line-X is now Pro-Line Coatings, and they're located on Wilder Road in Bay City. Give them a call at 989-671-9820.
Get a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, Pro-Line Coatings number in Bay City is 989-671-9820. That's 989-671-9820.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. The Michigan Supreme Court looks like it will widen its liberal majority to 5 seats. Kimberly Thomas is in line to beat Andrew Fink to fill a seat being vacated by retiring conservative Justice David Viviano, while incumbent Justice Kyra Harris Bolden holds the lead over Patrick O'Grady. It was all upbeat all evening at a Republican headquarters in Oakland County. Here's Michigan News Network's Tim Pamplin.
These folks are jubilant. They're fizzing. They came in here tonight positive, thinking positive, but knowing that no one really knows until all those ballots are counted.
We've worked hard for 7 months to bring this state home for Donald Trump, for Mike Rogers and all of that. And I mean, we got to wait till all the votes are in.
Tim Pamplin for the Michigan News Network.
And some Oakland County voters are split when it comes to allowing marijuana dispensaries in their communities 6 years after it was legalized statewide. Recreational pot shops could eventually open in the city of Clawson after voters passed a charter amendment to allow 2 recreational weed businesses in the city. Residents of Lathrop Village will not see dispensaries in their city. Proposal 1, which would have repealed the prohibition of cannabis establishments, did not pass, losing by a wide margin of 59 to 40%. In Royal Oak Township, voters decided not to completely ban marijuana businesses in that city. WSGW News Time, 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty rain showers here for today with cloudy skies and a high into the lower 60s. Winds out of the west around 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. For tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 40. By Thursday, sunshine, high of 57 degrees. Friday, plenty of blue skies and sun, a high around 59. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 58 degrees. Then by Sunday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers here, cloudy and a high around 64. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Currently, it's 59.
Now,
the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Good morning. Welcome to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance, filling in for Art this week and a few days next week. Of all weeks. Thanks, Art. I'm looking forward to his next one, which will apparently be somewhere in February. Maybe it'll be a little bit slower then. And it won't be the same kind of crazy news morning that we have. So, Jonathan, I'm going to ask you to pull up your fancy computer screen right now again.
Yep.
And let's look at some numbers so that we can give everyone an update here at the 10 o'clock hour. We're just talking. We know what happened nationally, folks. Nationally, this is over. Donald Trump is a president-elect. He won. He won definitively. There were 7 swing states. Georgia and North Carolina in the South, the so-called blue wall of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin in the Midwest, Arizona and Nevada in the far west. All the states have been called with the exception of Michigan, Nevada, and Arizona, but the others have. As you may have been listening to me, this was a field I once worked in and have a pretty good comfort in. At least the way I see it, I believe that Donald Trump is going to win all 7 of those swing states. The New York Times does a phenomenal job with their needle and looking at the data, looking at precincts, looking at where things are at. Since shortly after 9 p.m. last night, they strongly called all of those states in the president's favor, and everything that they have said, and Nate Cohn is the gentleman who runs that department, they have been deadly accurate on exactly what's going to transpire. But, Jonathan, if we look at Michigan, how does the presidential look in Michigan currently?
From the Associated Press, hold on, I'm on the wrong page here. There we go. Last update, still pretty close to the same. Well, hold on. Yeah, Trump still holds the lead there, 49.8% to Harris's 48.2%. And right now, 98% of the votes counted by AP estimates.
And what's the raw number on that, in your opinion, in terms of exact number?
Well, in my opinion, 2,779,354 votes for Trump, 2,690,412 votes for Kamala Harris.
Listen, I didn't ask to do math. What's the number on that?
The difference between the two?
Difference.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to go with your opinion. You're doing math. I mean, you could be wrong.
About 190,000.
190,000?
Yeah.
So that race is done.
No. Sorry.
See, that's why we said it's your opinion.
I'm terrible at math here. 90,000.
90,000.
Yes.
Right, that sounds much better with the math. So even 90,000, that's done. It's close in terms of, hey, it's a percentage point. But at the end of the day, I just don't see in any way, shape, or form that you're going to find those votes for Harris. That's too many to overcome. Generally, when the late vote continues to come in like this, it does come in from the big urban centers. The big urban centers do tend to be Democratic. But 90,000 votes at 10:14 a.m. the day after the election, that's just too many. So, folks, we're going to be taking calls. We were going to have David Jesuit, a faculty member from CMU's political science department, join us. But unfortunately, we just got a note. He has the flu and is not in great shape. So we gave him a reprieve. But this is Art's show, and this is a call-in show. And I know I often don't take calls because we're highlighting and have guests from across the region. But today, folks, we have got to take your calls, get your opinion, and kind of hear your thoughts on the election and all things that transpired. You can call in here at 989-752-6111. Again, 989-752-6111. Had great dialogue there in that first hour, and would love to continue that discussion. So, Jonathan, the other big race then, and probably the biggest race still undecided in Michigan then, is the U.S. Senate race between Alyssa Slotkin and Mike Rogers. What does that currently look like?
Yep, that's the one I was just looking at. It's about it's almost exactly a 10,000 vote margin. Right now, Alyssa Slotkin leading 48.5% to 48.4% for Rogers.
That, folks, is a close race. That's razor thin. That is one that it's still at this point could definitely go either way. And that's one of those races that's so close that you're going to look at a recount. But I'll tell you, looking at kind of some of the national numbers and what's happening nationally, they thought the U.S. Senate was most likely to go back to the Republicans. There were two races in particular that were clear Republican leans, and that was Senator Manchin's seat in West Virginia. Senator Manchin was an independent. He announced that he was stepping down. The sitting governor running for that seat, West Virginia, was going to go Republican. So that was a pickup. John Tester in Montana, very tough seat for Democrats to keep. Tester had actually run 2 terms, and it was kind of a big deal that he had held that seat, much like when a Republican holds a seat in New York or Massachusetts. It's rare that something like that happens, but that one went overwhelmingly on the Republican side. But you're starting to see more seats that have gone. Sherrod Brown, the Democrat in Ohio, lost. Bob Casey, the Democrat in Pennsylvania, looks to be losing there. It looks like Republicans are just not going to pick up the 2 seats they needed. It looks like they're going to pick up far more than the 2 seats that they needed and take a comfortable margin in the Senate. I haven't had a chance to really dig through the House numbers this morning or to look at it in a little bit more detail, but I will tell you that most people thought Democrats had a very good shot of keeping the House. Most kind of thought that was going to go in the Democrats' favor, and that's very much up in the air. That's a coin flip right now. And even with Trump winning the 7 swing states and taking back the presidency, they still felt last night, well, the House will be Democratic and you kind of have this split control. We don't know if that's going to be the case. So it's going to be interesting today to see how that unwinds. Jonathan, do we have anyone on the phone with us?
Yeah, we've got a caller here. We've got Mark, and I apologize, Mark. I forgot where you said you were calling from. But Mark, good morning.
Yeah, I'm from beautiful Freeland, Michigan. Good morning. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I was wondering what's taking Michigan so long to finish everything out. I go out to take the trash, and my trash can's numbered, and they know which trash can I have, but then they can't count the votes.
Yeah, we've been talking about this morning, and I don't know if you heard the first hour. We actually had a couple people who do poll work call in, and they were talking, one gentleman out in the thumb, of how they actually have to go through this process and drive the results over on a flash drive and go through. I don't know if it's because of, how we set up our kind of state in terms of counties and townships and then precincts, and we just have so many layers. But I'm with you. I certainly would like these results quicker and would love for the state to kind of look at, how can we be a little bit more efficient? Florida's got everything in by 11. Is that part of it? What do we need to do here? I think you raise a great point.
Yeah, the only state that doesn't have counties and all that stuff is Louisiana, and they have parishes, and they're done. And it just there's as many layers everywhere that I see.
Yeah, I don't.
Texas is done, and they were an hour behind us, and they got a lot more real estate than we do. So California too, and that's mostly Democrats, so they can't be half as buried as we are.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would love to see, what are the options that are out there that can make us a little bit more efficient and get us earlier results. If Florida, which is a gigantic state, can have results by 11, hey, why not us? Or, hey, their polls close at 7. Maybe we're open a little too late. And it's especially with the case with Western UP open to 9. It takes a while. Hey, thanks for the call. We're going to keep rolling through callers here. Jonathan, who do we have next?
Well, real quick before we get to Owen, I was just looking at a county by county basis. 2% of votes have not been counted by AP estimates. And right now, Kalamazoo County is at 90% of votes counted. And I think Clare County at last check was at about 95%. And those are the only 2 that I've found that weren't in the Ogama County's at 84%. Those are the 3 that I've seen that aren't 99% tallied yet. So
that's interesting. If you look at those counties, Kalamazoo's definitely the biggest county. It dwarfs the size of Ogama and Clare.
Yep.
And that's a blue-leaning county. So if you look at that county, you would think if you're Alyssa Slotkin, you're probably feeling a tiny bit better. definitely red votes will come out of the Clare and Ogama County areas. So we'll just have to wait and see. Why don't we grab that other caller?
Owen, good morning.
Morning. I just wanted to say, I just seen on Facebook that Isabella County voters voted down their road millage proposal again. Shame on Isabella County, because in a couple of months you're gonna be in Isabella County, and you're gonna get into an accident, or all these snowstorms that we have, and they're not gonna be nobody to come and help you, because there's not gonna be anybody there.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that millage. What exactly was it, Owen?
The road commissioner, the road patrol. That means all the sheriffs are on the roads. I mean, they do all the roads in Isabella County.
Okay.
The speeding tickets and all that.
Yep.
But if there's no sheriffs on the road because they have to lay off, 70% of their staff, good luck. I'm just saying that Isabella County, I'm very sad that they voted something down like that.
Well, Owen, Jonathan and I, when we take commercial break, we're going to go peek at that one. And when we come back, we're going to talk about it. But thanks for the call. And we'll be back after these messages.
M&R Garage Door wants to remind you to get those home improvement projects done now before the fall weather hits. Now is the perfect time to replace that old garage door with an M&R door, or finally get a garage door opener. The pros at M&R can install a new garage door that'll work great and look fantastic for years. An insulated door will help you save on your heating bill. M&R can get your existing door ready for winter with new rubber bottom and perimeter seals. The pros at M&R can professionally install or repair any brand residential and industrial door or opener. Remember, at M&R Garage Door, service is their specialty.
I have with me Jeff Carrick from M-Care Choices, formerly Medicare Choices. Jeff, I'm understanding that there's big Medicare plan changes we need to look forward to?
Yes, all Medicare beneficiaries will receive a letter in the mail from their current carrier called the ANOC letter, and that's the Annual Notice of Change.
Jeff, what is the benefit to coming to Medicare Choices to get your Medicare review?
First of all, Jim, we're a no-fee service. It doesn't cost you one penny. We have all the major carriers here in the state of Michigan. We analyze your plan. We find out, who are your current doctors, your current prescriptions, and any kind of benefit preferences that are very important to you, and put that into a software system that it will help guide us to the best plan for you.
Jeff, if somebody has questions and wants to set up an appointment, what should they do?
They should give us a call at area code 989-899-7820. And remember, we cover not just Saginaw, but all the surrounding areas. And you can come to our office here in Saginaw, or we can schedule an appointment to come right to your home, or meet at the local coffee shop.
Can they find you online?
Yes, at mcarechoices.com.
Rake in the riches every Saturday in November with the Fall Harvest at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. From 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., join us to win a share of over $300,000 in cash and premium play, plus grand prize bonus entries that could boost your chances of winning. Then, on November 30th at 11 p.m., one lucky player will harvest the biggest win of all, the grand prize of $150,000 cash. Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks rallied at the open with the Dow and S&P in record territory. Wall Street's anticipating business-friendly policies from a second Trump administration. Bank shares opened higher, and Bitcoin's price has topped $73,000. Tesla shares are up 14%, with anticipation that the relationship between CEO Elon Musk will help it to receive approval for its autonomous technology. Trump Media and Technology, parent company of Truth Social, opened 27% higher. CVS reported earnings that were not as weak as anticipated, and a former United Health executive, Steve Nelson, will lead its Aetna business. CVS shares opened up 11%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
Hi, I'm Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. Financial advisors, let's face it, if you're not growing your practice, you're losing market share. Stifel is a growing, entrepreneurial, advisor-centric firm built for successful advisors like you. There's a reason why 148 financial advisors joined Stifel last year. Come join us and find out why Stifel is the firm where success meets success. Visit www.choosestifel.com.
Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
The holiday season is just around the corner, and MBS International Airport is your gateway to a joyful holiday season. Whether you're reuniting with family or visiting friends abroad, MBS International Airport has your travel plans covered. Book your flights now at mbsairport.org and make this holiday season stress-free and memorable. MBS International Airport. Save time and money and fly from nearby. Visit mbsairport.org today.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center. Visit them at 5789 State Street in Saginaw or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com. And want to give Mike and his team over there all the props in the world. Recently wallpapered my dining room. Got my product over there from Westside Decorating Center. Staff incredibly helpful. Reasonable price. I didn't get the sticker shock that I thought I would. Always helpful and just a great team. So if you're looking at kind of that next project, go pay a visit to Mike and his team at Westside Decorating Center. Trust me, they do a phenomenal job and appreciate them very much. So we are here the day after the election and really kind of going through the results. Our last caller, we apologize. We don't know the details of every county and kind of every last millage or election that's going on, but we were able to, during the break, look at this. And it was for Sheriff's Road Patrol over in Isabella County. And by the looks of it, that went down pretty handily, about 54-42. What do you see, Jonathan?
I've got 54.8% to 45.2% with about 28,000 votes total between the two.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, the way that the state of Michigan sets up our local government, it's local control, folks. So understand there's 45% that are pretty upset this morning that there's not going to be that Sheriff's Road Patrol. My understanding looking at it is that it will now go to the state police, and the state police will pick up that coverage now for Isabella County. But yeah, by the sounds of it, I think there's some job cuts coming, and some folks that unfortunately, government jobs like this are funded. And if the taxpayers make the decision that they're not going to fund, the money's not there. So definitely an impact there in Isabella County. But at the end of the day, the way this process works and the way it should work, voters make these decisions. We make the decisions. And I can't speak for anyone in Isabella County. I don't live there. They decided that that's what they're going to do.
Earlier in the year as well, Isabella County, it was pretty good coverage of it, but I haven't heard anything since probably first quarter here. Had a pretty large deficit in their budget that they needed to make up. I know they've gone through the budgeting process since then, and I know that they have been working to address it. Of course, some issues with the county executive building, like the building that their office is, obviously not helping that at all. So probably a motivating factor behind some no votes there is that there's been a deficit, and got to be careful with what we're throwing money at in that regard. I'm not in Isabella County. I can't speak for voters there, but I know that was an issue that they were facing over there.
Well, folks, we are taking callers here between now and Focus for the next hour. I'd love to get your thoughts on elections, whether they be national, statewide, local. The number here is 989-752-6111. Again, 989-752-6111. I do want to point out a couple of interesting things that I've seen looking at a couple of the local pieces. One, there was a race in Merritt Township for a trustee between Tom Lynch III and Cindy Meade. And Jonathan, I don't know if you had a chance to look at this. Oh, you know what? You didn't have to worry about it. I looked at it wrong. It's one of those that's a vote for two. So they're both good. But I looked at it and it was 686 to 685. I'm like, wow. that one was split. But nope, in this case, that's where it is. We have a caller, and then when we come back, I'm going to chat about one of the Bay County millages. But let's take our next caller, Jonathan.
We've got Kay from Birch Run. Kay, good morning.
Good morning, you guys. I enjoy your program. You're doing just wonderful without Art, whether you think so or not. Enjoy his programs immensely, though, too. My thing with the elections is, and I've heard it from so many people, is there any way that they can limit the amount of the advertising from the radio, TV, the mail, anything like that? I stood at our mailbox. There's 4 people that are registered voters in this household. And I actually stood and counted out about 12 to 15 pieces of cardboard, basically, with, the ads on them. And that the one day. And this goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks. They could save a whole lot of money if they just cut that back, because most people have made their decisions a couple weeks ago.
We were actually
talking probably who they were voting for on all parts of it, from president right down to local issues. And so I think that there's some way, if there's some way they can, cut back on all of the waste that goes in, because people don't read them after about so long. And I don't know how you go about that, if you get a hold of the Republican committee or the Democrat committee or whoever. They've got a right to advertise, and I'm not complaining about that. It's just the amount of it.
Well, Kay, thank you for your call. I think, Matt, you actually would probably have an interesting perspective on that. But before you get to it, I want to say something. When it comes to radio advertising, I know we are basically required, if they come to us and say we want to advertise on your station with political candidates specifically, there are different rules for political action committees and other things. But if they come, we have to take their advertising and we have to run it.
So, Kay, I think how you feel is how a lot of folks feel, but this was actually decided at the court level. There was a big lawsuit called Citizens United that really was looking to try to limit dollars. And in this case, there are some limits in terms of if you want to give to a presidential candidate, there's a certain threshold of dollar amount that you can give. Right. Foreign nationals can't give. There's different levels or different things that you can do or can't do in terms of what you can give. But at the end of the day, the court ruled, no, this is about free speech. This was about, people have money that they want to donate and they want to give it to a campaign. Yes, they can. And then that campaign can go and get whatever advertising they want. So for now, I will tell you that this is the Wild West in terms of political dollars. These races have gone from thousands to tens of thousands to hundreds to millions to now we're literally at the point where this is hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. And because that court case is there and looking at the way the Supreme Court set, I don't think you're going to see any change. So, Kay, thanks for the call, but I'll tell you, you're going to have to do what I keep doing, which is mailbox to recycle bin. And that's kind of how it went for me this year.
Mine's going to the bonfire bin.
Well, see, everyone's got the bin. I know we have another caller.
Yeah, Kay, thank you for your call. We're going to head over to Mount Pleasant now and talk with Mark. Mark, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you doing this morning?
We're great. How are you over there in Isabella County?
Oh, can't complain. Hey, I got 2 questions for you. Do you know of any website I can look for a celebrity flight watch for the ones that said they were leaving if Donald Trump was elected?
That is really funny. I can't tell you off the top of my head where those sites are. So I would tell you to go to our good friend, Mr. Google. But I definitely know they're out there. I have this funny feeling, and listen, this happens anytime an election goes either way for both sides. Some folks make some pretty outlandish comments. I'm guessing, and I'm just spitballing here, that these people have decided that despite the change in power, America's a pretty great place, and they're not going to leave. But yeah, definitely check it out.
Hey, so my next question is on MSNBC. Their propaganda with the fearing this whole election cycle, are they going to be dissolved as a news organization for lack of viewership since the people voted to rebuke their
again, it's one of those things. I think there's a lot of bluster out there and a lot of comments are made, but at the end of the day, I got bad news for you. NBC is a giant corporation owned by Universal. I don't think they're going anywhere in this capitalist world. I think they're going to keep existing. Hey, we got to take a commercial break. Thank you so much for the call. We'll be back.
Well, actually, we don't have to take a commercial break. We have one Art Lewis on the line.
Oh, I wondered why I got the timeout sign.
Yeah.
I thought this was you telling me we needed to go to commercial break.
He's been waiting for so long, very patiently, so I figured we should get to him here.
You know, Art, Matt Felan did something crazy. We're taking calls all day today and making sure that we run this show the way Art Lewis would run this show the day after the election. Good morning, Art.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, there's a number of interesting things we need to talk about. First of all, this was a red wave that I don't think a lot of people expected to be the size that it is. And the most interesting thing I can't wait to find out is what they're going to have to say on The View today.
I think that may be a pretty sad show on The View. So if you're going to watch The View this morning, you're going to want a little box of Kleenex. I think there's going to be a few tears shed. That's for sure. No, you're right. At the end of the day, Art, there were 7 swing states. We've been talking about it. Georgia, Carolina, North Carolina, the so-called blue wall states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and then Arizona and Nevada. And it looks like all 7. Not like 4, not like 3, not like 5, not some. All 7 are going for Donald Trump. That says something, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And back to the caller's question about advertising, I had heard that $15.6 billion was spent on the elections around the country this cycle. While I agree on the one hand that that's sad, on the other hand, you're absolutely right. The Supreme Court ruled that money is speech, and the founding fathers were most worried about political speech, and I doubt if it's ever going to change with either party in power.
No, I think it's one of those things you love to talk about, and you're like, well, in a great world, it would be nice if we could do this. But at the end of the day, the Constitution means something, and free speech means something. And sometimes that means bad things sometimes too. And in this case, yeah, I think we can all agree that spending $15.7 billion to elect people isn't necessarily a good thing. But that is the price we pay for freedom and for free speech, and that's just the way that's going to work.
So as a former political fundraiser, would you have much fun out there today?
So I'll tell you what, first person hired on any campaign is the fundraiser. Last person let go is the fundraiser. You don't have money, you don't function. I got to tell you, in the world we live in now, back in the day before online giving was there and PayPal and Venmo and your quick Apple Pay, I mean, we had to grind for checks. It was a lot of work to bring that kind of money in. Now you push a button and that's where it goes. Hey, Art, you going to stick with us? We have to take a commercial break. Are you going to hang with us?
No, I got stuff. I've got to go do some recording, some interviews. I'm actually working out here.
Hey, you know what? What I just heard was that you're heading to the tables and you're about to go win some money. That's what I heard.
Not happening. I like my money too much.
Hey, Art, thanks for calling in and enjoy the rest of your vacation. And we'll do the best to hold the fort down here for the next few days.
Doing great. Thanks.
Thanks, Art. We'll be back.
This is Sonia with Feges Interiors, and I'm here to invite you to check out our recently renovated window treatment gallery. Along with custom draperies and top treatments, we now offer a range of America's most popular brands of blinds and shades like Hunter Douglas. We have an array of smart home compatible, energy efficient designs that are available at everyday low pricing. We can even cover those odd shaped windows with style. For over 24 years, I've helped my clients create custom one-of-a-kind window treatments, and now I'm able to offer complete room design with Feges Interiors. Through December 1st, save an additional $75 per shade on select styles with motorization. Visit our website to schedule your complimentary consultation and enjoy 50% off professional installation. Or visit our ever-changing showroom at Feges Interiors, 4946 Burl Drive in Saginaw.
Being a small business owner today is tough. Our costs keep going up.
Then you need to check Wildfire Credit Union's Business Visa. It's designed specifically for businesses just like yours with rates from 10.9% APR so you can invest in what matters most, growing your business. And when you open a new business visa at Wildfire, before the end of the year, you'll get $200 cash back.
A 10.9% APR and $200 cash back? That sounds like a great deal.
And did I mention the rewards? You'll earn cash back on every purchase, which can be accessed anytime in your online banking account.
What about fees?
There's no annual fee, and they have free online banking to manage your account 24/7.
Wow, I better head over to Wildfire Credit Union and apply.
Visit our website at wildfirecu.org or stop by any branch to learn more. Your business deserves the best, and we've got you covered. Get the card that means business, our low-rate business visa. APR equals annual percentage rate. Must have 10 card transactions in the first 6 months of card opening to qualify for $200 cash back. Card subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. The 36th annual Dow Tennis Classic returns to Midland now through Sunday, November 10th. Watch top-ranked professional female athletes from around the world compete in the WTA 125 event. Tickets range from free daytime matches to all-inclusive experiences with Grand Slam dining and beverages. Support area nonprofits and local businesses, all while watching world-class tennis. For more information and tickets, visit DowTennisClassic.com.
Welcome to Protect That Potato, America's favorite game show about protecting potatoes. Tonight's question: how do you get long-lasting residual control of white mold and early blight with enhanced yield performance? EnduraPro fungicide? Correct! Yeah. It's a clear victory with EnduraPro fungicide, the newest weapon against the toughest potato diseases, now available from BASF. Ask your retailer about EnduraPro fungicide. Always read and follow label directions.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Save up to 50% on a hot tub, cold therapy tub, or swim spa at the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Browse the largest display of hot tubs, cold therapy tubs, and swim spas in the region. See swim spas in action offering exercise, therapy, and fun all year long. Over 40 spas will be on display from 5 major brands at huge discounts. Financing is available and show admission and parking are free. That's the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Visit hottubBlowout.com. That's hottubBlowout.com. It's the Stormmaster Exterior Studios of WSGW. And WSGW is online with Stormmaster Exteriors.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan with Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance here, filling in for Art. Kryzak's House Family Restaurant is the best place to go for your authentic home-cooked foods with a European flair at reasonable prices. Now's the time to think about getting together with friends and family for lunch or dinner, as well as events coming up soon. Graduations, confirmations, weddings, showers, anniversaries, Kryzak's has an economical way for you to supply the food. You can order what you want in Polish and American foods and then just pick it up at the restaurant ready to go. Or have your celebration right there. And don't forget, at a moment's notice, Kryzak's can help. Call 989-894-5531. Kryzak's House Family Restaurant, corner of Cass in Michigan, on Bay City South Side. I'm not going to lie. That always throws me off. I'm a South Ender. I don't know what Bay City South Side is. I call it the South End. I grew up in the South End. You know, Donnie and I are going to talk about this ad. I wanted to say in the South End. So, Donnie, if you're listening, I'm calling you to talk about this ad. We want to switch to the South End. So that way, folks, you know, we do the live read right here, right there. We love our sponsors. I grew up at Kryzak's. Thank you for all that they do. So we're taking callers here to talk about, I guess, the news of the day. There was an election. There's results. Do we have someone with us, Jonathan?
We do. John is in Bay City. John, good morning.
Good morning. I just have a legal question. What happens if, I know I studied government in high school now, but if Mr. Trump should pass away before he takes office, who would take the office then? Mr. Vance or what? Or they have to go to court to settle that?
Yeah, no, I think I can help you on this one with my knowledge of this. I'm not a lawyer, but I do understand this pretty well. So between now and election day, or between now and inauguration day, Joe Biden remains president until January 20th or so. Let's say Donald Trump did pass away. God forbid, no one wants to see that. But if he did, I do believe J.D. Vance becomes president immediately on day one, and he becomes president during that term. I think it goes to the vice president. He then selects a new vice president so that there's a line in place. But that's why they run as a ticket. It was Trump Vance that people voted for. And I do believe if he passes away, that's exactly what would happen.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Jonathan, other callers on right now?
Nope, that was our last one.
So, folks, you can call in 989-752-6111. Again, 989-752-6111. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back, and hope we get more calls.
M&R Garage Door wants to remind you to get those home improvement projects done now before the fall weather hits. Now is the perfect time to replace that old garage door with an M&R door, or finally get a garage door opener. The pros at M&R can install a new garage door that'll work great and look fantastic for years. An insulated door will help you save on your heating bill. M&R can get your existing door ready for winter with new rubber bottom and perimeter seals. The pros at M&R can professionally install or repair any brand residential and industrial door or opener. Remember, at M&R Garage Door, service is their specialty.
Have you ever met a nematode? Probably not. But this sneaky ingrate and its billions of friends steal soybean yields right out from under your nose. Nematodes cause up to $1.5 billion in soybean revenue loss each year. And if that's not enough, they also amplify sudden death syndrome. Why? Because they're microscopic good-for-nothing thieves. That's why. Take action against these yield-stealing jerks with Alivo soybean seed treatment from BASF, the only proven winner against both SEN and SDS. And remember to always read and follow label directions.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
It's Tommy James and the Shondells. Saturday night party night, November 30th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Classic 60s hits with Tommy James. Tickets start at $35 and are on sale now at the box office at etix.com.
My baby does the hanky panky.
November 30th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Don't miss Tommy James and the Shondells. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the Art Lewis Show, our last segment of today, the day after the election. And I think it was Kate earlier who talked about it. Thank God I'm not going to see another flyer in my mailbox, another postcard, another whatever it is. The recycling bin was getting too full. I would like to just fill those with our regular Modelo bottles, like the good stuff, wine bottles. We can get all that political stuff out of there. Today, we're taking calls. I think you guys know when I host a show, I have a lot of guests talking about the region, but definitely today wanted to open the phone lines and get your thoughts. And Jonathan, we have more callers on the phone. Who's with us?
Carol is in Sheridan. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. Well, one thing, it'll be nice to hear Christmas commercials instead of these stupid ads. It's just terrible on and on, and maybe Musk is going to be president, seeing that he paid his way. I don't see this the way a lot of people do. Trump has a long history of illegals because they're the ones that built his hotel. But then after they got his hotels built, he said, well, you're illegal, so I don't have to pay you. He's been a crook for a long, long, long time. And I just can't stand him. I don't think she was the greatest, but it just makes me really, really sad. And one of these things we can use for these flyers, save a couple of them, because if you've got a bug or a bee, you just put like a glass over them or a little plastic thing, and then you slide that between that and the window, and then you can just take the bug outdoors and don't get stung or bit.
They are the
So
perfect
save it.
thickness for that.
Yeah, Carol, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
And Carol, it doesn't surprise me that a woman named Carol likes the holiday season and the Christmas season, and that you're looking forward to the Christmas ads. I can guarantee you, our friends at Amazon and other places will be sure to fill all your advertisements back up with the Christmas spirit in the very, very near future. It's coming. Don't worry.
But see, I only buy local. I don't get anything. Our kids do, but and we have a couple of little grocery stores around here. I try really, really hard. Anything I can get in there, if it's just a little bit more than the big Meijer, I don't go in Walmart. I don't know. I do things different than other people do, and I try and help out all the little stores, not just on the day that it's little independent stores, but every day. It does make a difference. $10 when you spend in there, Walmart or Meijer, that's nothing, But if you spend $10 in them little stores, it does make a difference.
Carol, I love it. You heard from everyone. Everyone, you heard Carol. Shop local. Thanks for the call. We're going to move on to our next caller.
William is in Flint. William, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I can't believe the American people are that smart or intelligent to see through all this brainwashing. I mean, every day you open my phone, there's a Trump making an ugly face even. They said they don't want you to like him. And people seem right through everything.
It's definitely
all the TV say, I can't believe the brainwashing. Like the news will come on, the first thing they're talking about is against Trump, or they'll give an opinion of the Democratic person, whether it be Biden or Harris, how good they are.
Definitely the coverage of it. I was kind of surprised with last night's coverage, even on CBS, how almost blatant it got with some of, not the attacks, but just there was a bit of a slant going on, and it surprised me a little bit. But what threw me off the most, and I thought was kind of funny, was I got an email this morning from a news source. It was not one of the big ones, but a news source that's out there, and definitely, and it was something along the lines of, "Don't worry, we're still going to cover Trump just as critically as we have been." I'm like, I didn't think you were going to stop. I knew that was going to be the case.
I will just say,
I thought they'd lighten up a little bit now.
I will give the American people a lot of credit, because at the end of the day, our people decide elections. Folks decide what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. And I do think the American people find a point on either side that they're going to decide, you know what? Great that you're telling me these things, but I'm going to make the decision for myself. And I think that definitely happened yesterday. So thanks for the call. We'll move forward to our next caller.
We've got Sean in Bay City. Sean, you're going to be the last caller today. We've got a few minutes here. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's been a while since I've called in, but here's the deal. The only person, Trump won, and he was the only one that actually got any votes to even run for president. So all you wacky lefty liberals out there, you can and squirt tears over that. But he's the only one that actually got voted to even have a chance to run for president. And you got your Kamala. Now they're all bummed out. They picked Kamala because Joe would have actually probably done better.
Well, Sean, I'll tell you, as someone who, I know that Democratic side exceptionally well. And I'll tell you this. I definitely think people saw after that first debate that maybe Joe Biden wasn't up for another 4 years. And there was definitely concerns about his faculties and capabilities. So they knew that they needed to make a change. At the time, though, there were a lot of Democrats that questioned whether it should be Harris and should they move to somebody else. And at the end of the day, they just decided they didn't want to pass over the vice president. So that's what they went with.
I'm not going to let you filibuster. No, what they did is they went with the DEI hire is what they did. Now that they got a black woman in there, they couldn't pass her by.
That argument didn't go very far at all.
It's not an argument. It's the truth, pal. It's the absolute truth. And it's like I say, the reason I don't call into your show anymore is because of people like you. You just don't want to face the truth. You just don't. She was picked because she was a woman and she was black. That's it. That's all. That's the ultimate in racism. The ultimate in racism. And then they figured out, holy crap, this chick sucks so bad. I think we would have been done better with dying Biden. I mean, point is, Trump won, and we don't have to worry about girls going into boys' bathrooms and boys into girls' bathroom and men and women and all this weird stuff. And, now you're going to have to use the door to come into our country. Just simple, basic stuff. So it's great. It's great. And to think, any of you people out there that don't think that he didn't win 4 years ago, too, again, you're out of your mind. Go watch the Mockingbird mainstream media. They all say the exact same thing because they're given a narrative. Literally, pieces of paper. Here you go. This is the script. This is what you're going to say. Don't believe me? Look it up yourself. They've been doing it for 40 years.
Well, Sean,
just like the lady that called, Carol or whatever that called in, spews nothing but hate and lies about people. Well, hey, Carol, I got one for you, too. You know what I heard about you? You know what I heard about you, Carol?
Sean,
I heard you like little boys.
Sean,
that's enough.
Hey,
thanks for the call. At the end of the day, Sean is right about one thing, and that is that Donald Trump won last night. We'll be back after these messages.
Being a small business owner today is tough. Our costs keep going up.
Then you need to check Wildfire Credit Union's Business Visa. It's designed specifically for businesses just like yours with rates from 10.9% APR so you can invest in what matters most, growing your business. And when you open a new business visa at Wildfire before the end of the year, you'll get $200 cash back.
A 10.9% APR and $200 cash back? That sounds like a great deal.
And did I mention the rewards? You'll earn cash back on every purchase, which can be accessed anytime in your online banking account.
What about fees?
There's no annual fee, and they have free online banking to manage your account 24/7.
Wow, I better head over to Wildfire Credit Union and apply.
Visit our website at wildfirecu.org or stop by any branch to learn more. Your business deserves the best, and we've got you covered. Get the card that means business, our low-rate business visa. APR equals annual percentage rate. Must have 10 card transactions in the first 6 months of card opening to qualify for $200 cash back. Card subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
Now Perret taps it. Iceland Epperson heading to the net. Seema shoots and scores! Seema cleans up the garbage in front. A power play goal.
The Saginaw Spirit host the Peterborough Peach this Thursday at 6:50 on 100.5 FM WSGW.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. I'm going to take the mic from Matt for a second here and just that last call, it crossed a line. And I'm going to give the spiel that Art gives every time we get something like that happens. The ability to call into this show is a privilege. Freedom of speech is something that is very important to everybody here. It's something we support, and that's why we do this. We want to make sure that you get your voice in, you get your voice heard. But we are not going to use this platform to snipe at other people in the community. That's not what we're here for. And there are certain rules that we need to follow because we are beholden to someone here. It is a privilege granted by our parent company here at WSGW. So please be respectful of that as we move through the future here. Sorry, Matt, I didn't mean to jump in there.
Totally appreciate it. I am the guest here, so thank you for handling business.
Absolutely. We're going to head out now. We've got the Focus program coming up. I believe we're taking more calls during that. Matt, you're going to be sticking around with us for that?
Absolutely. Let's keep going.
We'll do that, but first the news.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
The This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Peter King. It's now President-elect Donald Trump, and his senior advisor Jason Miller promises unity ahead.
Hope is back in America. If you supported President Trump in this election, he is going to work to fix the economy and secure the border. If you did not support President Trump in this election, he is going to work to fix the economy and secure the border.
I'm Wendy Gillette at the Trump Watch Party in West Palm Beach, Florida, where an elated crowd cheered as he took the stage.
Frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond.
Thousands of supporters hugged, high-fived, and celebrated, including Sue Snowden from Palm Beach County.
Over the top. I've been supporting Trump since probably 2012.
Reuters reports Vice President Kamala Harris will deliver a concession speech this evening. Here's CBS's Nancy Cordes.
Watch the results with family at her residence at the Naval Observatory. The original plan was that at some point she would make her way to Howard University, where thousands of supporters were waiting to hear from the woman who they were hoping would become the first female president.
Republicans have regained control of the Senate. Here's CBS's Scott McFarland.
52 seats with several still to be determined, and every number they add to that 52 gives President-elect Trump more leverage, more currency to exact his policies and get his cabinet and court nominations confirmed.
Republicans are expected to keep control of the House as well, according to CBS News estimates. Big business seems to be pleased with the Trump victory, but there's also caution. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
It's very difficult to predict what policies will be enacted, how they will impact companies, and how they will impact individuals until we lay eyes on the actual legislation and see what moves are made under a Trump presidency.
Wall Street has responded favorably. The Dow is up 1266. Overseas reaction to Trump's win is mixed.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. The most wholehearted congratulations on this side of the Atlantic have come from Hungary's Viktor Orban, a close Trump ally. He openly endorsed Trump's re-election bid and was the only EU leader to back him in 2016. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico has called Trump's victory, quote, a defeat of liberal and progressive ideas.
Hurricane Rafael is about 130 miles southeast of Havana. It's expected to be a major storm by the time it hits western Cuba later today. Forecasters say the storm will shift more to the west and land in Mexico or southwest Texas as a tropical storm early next week. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Save up to 50% on a hot tub, cold therapy tub, or swim spa at the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Browse the largest display of hot tubs, cold therapy tubs, and swim spas in the region. See swim spas in action offering exercise, therapy, and fun all year long. Over 40 spas will be on display from 5 major brands at huge discounts. Financing is available and show admission and parking are free. That's the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at Dow Diamond in Midland. Visit hottubBlowout.com. That's hottubBlowout.com.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a RoofMax shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with RoofMax, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort proudly presents Mr. Las Vegas, Wayne Newton live, Friday, December 27th. It's an evening of storytelling and video and song from the ultimate Vegas insider. Tickets for Wayne Newton start at $30 and are on sale now at Soaring Eagle Box Office or etix.com. 65 years of Las Vegas memories from the Midnight Idol. December 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Don't miss Wayne Newton live. SoaringEagleCasino.com.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 58 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Burchett. Several countywide positions were decided in yesterday's general election in Saginaw County. Sheriff William Fetterspiel was reelected over Republican challenger Jason Wise. In the Public Works Commissioner's position, Democrat Brian Wendling was elected over Republican James Graham. For the county commissioner, the Board of Commissioners, Democrat Jack Taney was elected to represent the 2nd District over Chet Atkins. Republican Rich Spitzer was closely voted in for the 3rd District over Democrat Tarsha Works. Sheldon Matthews, a Democrat, beat Republican Herb Jankowski in the 3rd District seat, with Gerald Little, the Democrat, over Terry Elbers in the 8th District. Voters in Saginaw County also re-elected Christopher Boyd to the Board of Commissioners over Jane Collins, and for the 10th District, Lisa Coney, Democrat, beat James Shepler. Michael Webster defeated Walter Ribble in the 11th District. Garber Automotive dealerships are offering veterans and active duty military members free oil changes next Monday, which is Veterans Day. Participants must be present at the dealership to receive a free oil change and are limited to one per household. The locations include all Garber dealerships in Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Linwood, and Chesaning. Service departments will be open from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Appointments are encouraged by calling any of the listed locations. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
This is Sonia with Feges Interiors, and I'm here to invite you to check out our recently renovated window treatment gallery. Along with custom draperies and top treatments, we now offer a range of America's most popular brands of blinds and shades like Hunter Douglas. We have an array of smart home compatible, energy efficient designs that are available at everyday low pricing. We can even cover those odd shaped windows with style. For over 24 years, I've helped my clients create custom one-of-a-kind window treatments, and now I'm able to offer complete room design with Feges Interiors. Through December 1st, save an additional $75 per shade on select styles with motorization. Visit our website to schedule your complimentary consultation and enjoy 50% off professional installation. Or visit our ever-changing showroom at Feges Interiors, 4946 Burl Drive in Saginaw.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. In Monroe County, a rescue that was too close for comfort. Monroe County Sheriff Troy Goodenough says a 67-year-old woman was found lying across railroad tracks in Monroe Township just after 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. And when police arrived on the scene, a train was heading for the woman and the gates were coming down. Goodenough says a deputy rushed the tracks and grabbed the woman, pulling her to safety just in time as the train passed. She was taken to a hospital for treatment as police worked to figure out why she was on the tracks. It's another health warning for the state as the Department of Health and Human Services says there's been an increase in whooping cough cases in recent weeks, also called pertussis. Dr. Lee Monday, an infectious disease specialist for the DMC, was asked how much of a concern that rise in whooping cough cases is.
It's super concerning. The last 2 years, we've averaged a little over 530 cases. And so far this year, we're actually already past 800. So definitely one of the things that's going on is kids got behind on their vaccinations during COVID. And I think vaccine hesitancy is really starting to show its face now in what's happening.
Dr. Monday is urging people to get vaccinated as the state sees a continued decline in childhood immunization rates. The early symptoms of whooping cough can look like a common cold. However, later symptoms can consist of uncontrolled coughing fits and shortness of breath. Michigan has 2 new members of Congress. Republican Tom Barrett in the 7th Congressional District, which is the seat Lissa Slotkin is in currently, beat former state lawmaker Chris Hurdle. In the 8th District, that includes Flint and Saginaw, current Democratic State Senator Karen McDonald-Rivette beat Kristen McDonald-Rivette beat Paul Young to win a 2-year term. Republican John James will serve another 2 years after beating former Macomb County Prosecutor Carl Merlinga. Democrats Rashida Tlaib Debbie Dingell and Haley Stevens have been reelected another term. Republican Lisa McLean was also reelected. Republican Congressman Bill Huizenga won his reelection, as did Jack Bergman. WSGW News Time 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few spotty rain showers here for today with cloudy skies and a high into the lower 60s. Winds out of the west around 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. For tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 40. By Thursday, sunshine, high of 57 degrees. Friday, plenty of blue skies and sun, a high around 59. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 58 degrees. Then by Sunday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers here, cloudy and a high around 64. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast.
Currently, it's 58.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
Good morning and welcome to the Focus program. Focus is presented by RoofMax, the safe, easy, proven alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Ask Ben how RoofMax can help you at askbenhow.com. That's askbenhow.com or by calling 989-859-6751. So it's Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and I'm filling in for Art here on both the Art Lewis Show and Focus between now and next Tuesday. Art will be back on the 13th. And we have open phone lines today during Focus. We really want to keep chatting about the election results. You can call it 989-752-6111. Again, 989-752-6111. Jonathan, on the last hour, we got a call regarding one of the local millages, which then kind of got my mind going. And I hadn't looked at everything in full detail. Bay County had 3 millages yesterday. 2 passed that didn't surprise me. Number 1, mosquito control, 45,000 to 11,000. That doesn't surprise me.
If there's one thing that can unify everybody,
it's mosquitoes. We are all anti-mosquito in Bay County. So Bay County was overwhelming there. The second was for Bay Metro, the Transportation Authority millage renewal. Doesn't surprise me, passed pretty overwhelmingly, 34,000 to 21,000. But there was a third millage that was on, and that was the Bay County Community Center outdoor pool millage. And that one definitely I knew was going to be close. And I'll be honest, I thought that one was going down. I voted for it. I think it's great that if you live in a community like ours, that we get kids in the water and teach them how to swim at every opportunity. When I was a little kid, we went to the community center all the time. It had at the time, I can't remember, but it had the high dive, and I swear to God, it was the height of the Empire State Building when you sit up there. It was incredibly high, and I remember thinking, these adults are going to let us jump into the pool from this level? But I know when that pool closed, it had a really negative impact, and I have some family friends that have children that are competitive swimmers and now collegiate swimmers, and they were literally, Jonathan, running out into the bay to do their swims because there was no available pool space at the schools or at the Y. It's just so limited. And they talked about how that was a big deal. But that one, looking at the numbers here this morning, passed. Yes votes, 27,137. No votes, 26,976.
That's close.
So if I am doing my math here, it looks like about 161 votes is what determined the Bay County Community Center outdoor pool millage. That is close. And
do they do automatic recounts for proposals like that?
I think they do. I think there's a certain threshold on any race if it's within a certain percentage. And listen, I'm not a math major, and if anyone ever pulls up my ACT scores, you'll see that. So I can't give you the percentage, but brother, that looks like that's within that 1 percentage point. It is that close. One of the closer millages or closest races that we saw. But I can tell you, for those of you that are in Bay County, well, that means there's going to be a new pool there at the community center, and it's going to be a great thing. And I understand that half of you that are listening from Bay County are like, we didn't need that, and I don't want to see my tax dollars. But you apparently needed another 200 people to come out to knock that down, and that did not happen. So that one's fascinating. Always interested to see. But I love it, Jonathan. You're exactly right. If you want to unite any community, if you want to unite the electorate, nothing like mosquito control. So, Jonathan, we have a caller?
Yes, we do. I believe it's Saul in Ithaca.
Good morning, Saul.
Yeah, hello, this is Saul in Ithaca. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, doing great. Let's talk about that election last night, if you don't mind.
Yeah, have at it. What do you got for us?
Well, here's my thoughts on the matter. I think there's an absolute repudiation of the liberal Democrat policies. And to be honest, I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't more of a landslide, although it was pretty one-sided. I know a lot of people find Trump abrasive. I understand that. I personally find him hilarious. But if you put personalities aside, I mean, Harris is obviously a buffoon, but just look at the policies. I mean, Green New Deal, give me a break. Oil is the lifeblood of the world economy. And you can't bury your head in sand and say it's not. I mean, you can have a goal to transition away from oil, of course. But whether we drill it here, create our own oil, or buy it, we have to have oil. The economy runs on it. And that's just one issue, Green New Deal. And you could go on and on.
I think you're definitely right. There are a number of big ticket issues, and I'll call them that there are certain positions. Help me out here, Matt. What am I trying to say? Like Green New Deal. There's the take on abortion. There's a lot of issues that single issue voters will be swayed by.
There are issues that define us. There are issues that people look at, and if you are in one spot, this is where you're at, and that's the type of issue that gets you to vote. And you know, Saul, he's correct in that it wasn't a small win. You know, when Biden won in 2020, it was a very narrow win. This was not. This was a very clear, overwhelming view, and there's a variety of issues when people vote, and on this one, Saul's correct. So thanks for the call, Saul. I'll just add in real quick before we go to break. He did bring up something like oil and drilling. I will say this. It's important that the facts get out. And whether you like it or not, America is producing more oil today than at any point ever. And I think that's good regardless of who's in power. But we'll take a break.
Do you know that air duct cleaning is one of the most affordable home improvements you can make? Having your air ducts professionally cleaned by Modernistic means you'll dust less, your HVAC system will run more efficiently, and most importantly, you and your family will breathe cleaner, healthier air.
Modernistic, simple and quick. We're the first with experience and quality.
Schedule at Modernistic.com and get $75 off air duct cleaning with offer code FRESH75.
Are you looking for a reliable place to buy and sell precious metals and coins? Euclid Avenue Coins, Inc. has you covered. And that's not all. Stop into Euclid Avenue Coins now through December 15th, and you can register to win one of 2 large-screen TVs, no purchase necessary. Euclid Avenue Coin, Inc. is Mid-Michigan's premier dealer for silver and gold bullion, as well as coins of all types. Euclid Avenue Coin is located at 602 North Euclid Avenue in Bay City.
Being a small business owner today is tough. Our costs keep going up.
Then you need to check Wildfire Credit Union's Business Visa. It's designed specifically for businesses just like yours with rates from 10.9% APR so you can invest in what matters most, growing your business. And when you open a new business visa at Wildfire before the end of the year, you'll get $200 cash back.
A 10.9% APR and $200 cash back? That sounds like a great deal.
And did I mention the rewards? You'll earn cash back on every purchase, which can be accessed anytime in your online banking account.
What about fees?
There's no annual fee, and they have free online banking to manage your account 24/7.
Wow, I better head over to Wildfire Credit Union and apply.
Visit our website at wildfirecu.org or stop by any branch to learn more. Your business deserves the best, and we've got you covered. Get the card that means business, our low-rate business visa.
APR equals annual percentage rate. Must have 10 card transactions in the first 6 months of card opening to qualify for $200 cash back. Card subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
From the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, you are listening to 100.5 FM and 790 AM. And from Stormmaster Exteriors, you are listening online at WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome back to the Focus program. It's Matt Felan filling in for Art. Although we did hear from Art last hour. He got himself, off of the casino floor, off of the roulette table. He had stacks of cash everywhere and
Quote
called
unquote,
in.
working.
You're working, he says.
Conducting interviews, he says. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was great to hear from him. Appreciate all the calls. We still have time for a call or two, so if you'd like to call in, that number is 989-752-6111. Again, 989-752-6111. I'm going to put Jonathan on the spot because, on the breaks, we a day like today, we've had a very fascinating back and forth on issues and ideology, etc. But our last caller brought up, something like the Green New Deal, and there's definitely a segment of the electorate that is not a fan of the Green New Deal. That questions the reliability of electric vehicles. Art talks about it regularly on the show. We talk about the grid and the capacity to handle that amount of electric vehicles. It's not always windy. It's not always sunny. So how do consumers and DTE continue to give us reliable energy? And, off the air, we were talking about nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's actually a great discussion. So Jonathan point blank looked at me and said, "Hey, what do you think about nuclear?" And I'll just kind of give you my opinion on this because I think it's important, especially if we're going to look at the continued need for green energy or reliable energy. The future of nuclear does not look like the past of nuclear, meaning the future of nuclear are much smaller modules. There's certain terminology for it, but you don't need these massive plants with these massive towers and these massive lakes. Nuclear in the future can be done on a much smaller, safer, efficient scale, but producing a ton of energy. And I'll just tell you, I don't think we can windmill and solar panel our way to the portfolio we need. So I personally would like to see what nuclear looks like. I'm definitely not looking for giant plants and disasters like we saw in Japan with Fukushima. I'm hoping that technology of tomorrow can create a safer and reliable nuclear industry. But we'll see. That's years down the road, folks, from what I'm hearing. But if you don't work on it now, it never becomes reality. So we have a caller, Jonathan.
Chris is in Bay City. Chris, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Chris.
Hi, Matt.
What do you have for us here today? We'd love your thoughts.
Yay! Oh, yay! Trump. Oh, my God.
I can't tell if there's sarcasm there or not.
I think Chris sounds happy. Chris, you're happy. Why are you happy today?
I am a happy man.
Okay.
So talk to us.
Then the other thing was, I heard on your, you had a commercial earlier, and you were referring to Bay City's south end.
Yes, sir.
It's Bay City's south end.
You know what? You were right. And as someone who went to St. Stanislaus Cuska grade school from kindergarten to eighth grade.
I couldn't believe you said that.
Yeah, you're right. That you got to get the south end and the dis, the D's, the do's, the dem. There's definitely a lot more to that. I totally get it.
I'm a Prussian Polak. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
No, hey, we appreciate the call. Glad you're happy today. We'll move on to our next caller.
Another one from Bay City. We've got Vaughn. Good morning, Vaughn.
Howdy, Vaughn, Bay City. I think Bay County is really a conservative, blue collar type community. A lot of pro-life. I think pro-life is a big issue for a lot of people in Bay County, and gun control. So it really showed up in this election. The changing of the demographics here in Bay County, the voting and going red. Like a 2-1 margin on a lot of the elections. So
Vaughn, this sounds like an elected official named Vaughn to me by the sounds of this.
Yeah, that might be. Yes, that's true. I was unopposed, so it wasn't a hard election. I had to beat off Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, but I succumbed them. So
well, Mr. Begic, I saw that the county commission went very, very red, 6-1. Congratulations on your election. Although I'm glad you're here because I'm going to ask a question of you because it's great to have you on. Why do you think that just not that Bay County swung, but Bay County has been swinging wildly, meaning 2 years ago it was plus 10 Democrat. This time it's plus 10 Republican. It's not just that it's shifting, Vaughn. It seems to go back and forth by 20 points. It's bizarre. Why do you think Bay County, and it hasn't been just one cycle, Vaughn. We've seen this now 2, 3, 4 cycles, that it's going back and forth like a tennis match. Why do you think it's going back and forth so wildly?
As I said, it's a conservative community. The union vote used to be big. There used to be like 4,000 people at Powertrain. Now there's like 300 or 400. So the union influence has really dropped off. So I think that's a big factor in it. And I think the Democratic Party going pretty progressive, going out pretty far into the left wing has really driven a lot of the moderate Republicans or Democrats to swing over and vote Republican.
So would you be surprised, though, if it went back the other way, another 10 points, another time in another election? Will it surprise you? Or do you think you're going to see this trend continue?
I think it's going to continue. Like I say, the union vote's just not there like it used to be, and we're pretty strong conservative. Polish, Catholic, German, Lutheran. Right to life is a big issue in Bay County. I think if we just voted Bay County, it would be a majority and against abortion. So that's a big issue, and guns are still a big issue. There's a lot of hunters and fishermen in the area, so those are two big issues that they would vote on.
Well, Vaughn,
I don't see it going blue.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your call. Again, congratulations. The great part about elections is we always get to see what happens. So that's going to wrap up this edition of the Focus program.
The 36th annual Dow Tennis Classic returns to
Look at us
Midland now
today.
to
Terry,
Sunday,
how are you?
November 10th. Watch top-ranked professional